Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Honestly, I have so many plant chores, you guys, and this is just due to the fact that I procrastinate a lot, with everything in my freaking life. So I'm just gonna show you guys what we got going on today. These are some micans cuttings that I took of my big micans up above you guys right now. It's in a Vanda basket. Whoa. Yeah, so I just want to check up on the roots. I can already see that there's some browning roots going on. That's just because I've been too lazy to change the water, if I'm being honest. All of these seem pretty well rooted though. Do I want to leave these a little bit more? I mean, I'm gonna keep it to make sure that it transitions well into soil and that it's not going downhill before I give it to her. Because some of these, they have primary roots, but they don't have secondary roots. I mean, yeah, I think I'm gonna pot these up. I'll just watch over them while I'm putting them together. And every time I talk about micans, I always get questions on what I do to root them up. There was a first batch of micans that I had by my window. I literally just put those, I think with those I put them in rainwater, and I just had them literally on the window, on my windowsill. They would get some direct sun, I think, from my east facing window for only a couple hours. And I think the heat also definitely helped with the direct sun. The only time I've struggled to root micans is when I'm not giving them enough light. Propagations in general, they need a lot more light than people even think to give. Should I think just a tad bigger. So I think I am gonna make this, honestly. Recently, I really feel like I have been so neglectful of my collection. Not really neglectful, but I just haven't really been paying attention, and I've been doing the bare minimum. And I feel like it's just due to other factors in my life. If there's other things going on, I work on the weekends, and so every time I work, I literally just ignore every single one of my plants, and I just don't even, I come home, I splat onto my freaking bed, and I'm you know what, forget plants. And I think that this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. What am I getting? Oh my god. It's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, because although, if you didn't know, by the way, I work at a plant store. Although it is such a good experience, not only knowledge-wise, I'm definitely learning a lot, but also the fact that I'm working with something that I already enjoy in my personal life. It's a good experience. Not even just knowledge-wise, but the fact that I already enjoy houseplants on my own personal agenda, and getting to work with them every day. It doesn't even it just feels like I'm doing plant chores, and not in a bad way, but and also getting to teach other people about houseplants so that they can do better with their plants as well. It definitely is a good feeling to sort of be around that space, I guess. But I will say, after spending 4 hours, 5 hours with plants, literally non-stop repotting, you guys, I have repotted so many plants that I'm just do I really want to repot my plants at home? No, I don't. Which really is a true thing for all of my plants. At work, I'm watering plants, repotting plants, moving plants around, reorganizing. Everything that I've always done at home, I do there. And so it's just you get spent, you get drained, and that's literally how I feel on the weekends. On the weekends, I don't even want to look at my plants, you guys. But yeah, it definitely takes a lot to do both, I feel like. And I can't even imagine working full-time at a plant store. I feel like it's just so, it would be way too much, you guys. 40 hours of all plants. I think I'd sell my whole collection at that point, because I'm not doing that. Although there is a lot of positives to working in a plant store, the things that I've learned or taken from working at a plant store, I feel like it's just made me so much better as a plant parent. And I think that a lot of people can tend to say this. If you work at a plant store, let me know your experience down below. I feel like it could, I don't want to just give my experience and people are kind of thrown off, but if you get where I'm coming from, hopefully you guys do, because it's just I feel like you have to experience it to really understand how it feels. But one good thing that I will say has definitely really stood out to me is how many plants I get to experience in such a short time. Like, I think it's definitely shifted my wish list a lot too, in a good way. Like, it's made me experience plants that I would have never like thought to like purchase myself, or like go like get to experience them myself, because I've just like wasn't really interested in them, I guess. To be able to experience those plants without ever having to purchase them has definitely made a big giant difference. To name a few, the chia pens, the Syngonium chia pens. I'm actually thinking about getting rid of my mojito, just because I haven't really, it doesn't really float my boat, and like I enjoyed the time that I had with it. I've experienced everything I needed to experience from it, and I'm just kind of like, I'm not really interested in it anymore, I guess. And I'm just kind of like, I think Syngonium as a whole, I'm just really not like, I don't really feel for them, I guess, like in a way that I like would want to have them in my collection, or feel the need to get them in my collection. I think we have like 3 Syngonium chia pens. Chia pens, however you say it. There is like, I think they're like $40 something, which in my area, you guys, a lot of plants go for freaking expensive because our market is just really bad here. If you go to like Seattle, it's not as bad for sure, but I think just because we aren't like a big city, it's not really like, there isn't like plants that are really mainstream here in this area, at least not like at local shops and stuff. But yeah, so we have 3 chia pences. There's this gigantic one, you guys, like it is growing on like a wood like stake, and it is so freaking tall, and I'm just like, dude, I want to take you home. Like I really do, but I can't bring myself to do it, because it's like that price tag is really throwing me off here. So I just haven't really bitten that bullet. And yeah, another one is like begonias. Oh my god, you guys, there's so many begonias that I see. I actually photographed one for my job, and I'm just like, I'll try and pop it in, but I don't know if it like gives away too much. I don't know, maybe I'll pop it in, maybe I won't. But god, I have literally fallen head over heels with begonia, especially seeing how easy they are. Like if you want to get into begonias, get the listada. We had 4 of them, and you guys, those things grow like crazy. Like the amount of times that thing has flowered in the time that I've been there, I think it's flowered like at least 3 times. And it's just like insane how much it flowers, because it's just, again, it's crazy. I can't really think of like any other plants. I guess cissus would be on that list too. But I already have the sugar vine, which actually got root rot, and I'm rerooting it currently. I think alocasia might be on that list too, just because I've seen so many different varieties of alocasia, but I was already into alocasias before, so I don't know if that really checks off that box. But I feel like recently I've definitely gone back to like those more like basic houseplants, specifically like talking about begonia, like the Begonia maculata. I have had a very, I don't want to say a battle, but it's just like I'm very conflicted on whether I want it in my collection or not. I've had cuttings since maybe February. I've probably had them since March, and since I took those cuttings, I was like, am I gonna keep it? Do I want Begonia maculata in my collection? Like, I don't know, like what do I want to do here? Do I want to keep them? Do I want to sell them? Do I want to give them away? Like, I don't. And for a long time, you guys, I was so set on like, I'm not keeping them. I don't yearn for that plant. I don't feel the need to keep it in my collection, until I saw pictures of how people style their Begonia maculata. And usually I see them and they're like they're a cane begonia, so they're just like, you know, going up the canes, and they're just like, I'll try and pop in a picture of like what I mean. Usually I see them and they're like that. But this person that I found makes them look like trees, like almost like if it was like a ficus. And oh my god, ever since then I am like, oh my god, I really want a begonia now, like I really do. And like now I'm like really set on keeping it and like growing it to that, because I feel like it'd be really invigorating. I feel like to be able to grow something, like you normally don't see begonias grown to that extent. Normally they're like, again, like I said before, they're just like there's multiple cane begonias all in one, and it's just like a bushy thing, and it just like, that doesn't really do like, it doesn't do much for me. It's just kind of there, you know? You guys, this thing looks so freaking cute. Oh my god, I can't wait to give this to her, you guys. That probably brings me into what we're gonna do now, which is my begonia maculata cuttings. These things, I've been waiting for them to root up, you guys. Like, I have been like, okay, when are you, actually I think they're starting to root up, because I mean they have roots here. I'll pull one out to show you. They have roots, but they're like already blackened off. They're not rotted or anything, like, at least I don't think they are you? No, they're not rotted. They're just like already like solidified, I guess. And I just now saw that it's growing one over here, but I've just been waiting for it to like grow a little bit more so that I felt a little bit more comfortable potting these up. These are cuttings that I originally potted in pond, and they didn't do well, so I ended up taking them out, and maybe I'll just pot them in here. Should I let them root up a little bit more? I mean, there's no negative to letting them root up more, but I just, with school coming up, I definitely don't want to leave anything like unfinished. It's not like I won't have time. I'll definitely still have time, but it's just like, there's also this plant. Is this smaller? No, this, I feel like that's bigger. I think I'm gonna pot it up in leca for now until it gets rooted, and then after it gets pretty well rooted, I think I'll switch it to like a more heavier or a more lighter pond mix with like leca in it as well. Which my pond already tends to have leca in it, but I just would probably add a little bit more because it likes more airiness in there. The last time that I moved such a small cutting like this into leca or into pond, it didn't really do well. And then after that, I moved some more cuttings in there that were a little bit more fitted to the pot, and those did pretty okay. So I feel like it's just about the root size to the vessel, and I feel like with leca it's a little bit more airy and a little bit more chunky, so I might be able to get away with that. Honestly, I've also been thinking about getting like micro leca, which micro leca is literally just a smaller size of leca, and I feel like it'd be really nice to put in my pond. Do I really need multiple sizes of leca? Not really. Would it be nice to have it? Yeah, it would. Maybe I'll get it for like Christmas or something, I don't know. And I know in those pictures that I'm like saying that like inspired me to keep this plant, they only have one plant in the pot, I believe, which right now it's kind of gonna look weird if I just have one little begonia stalk in a tiny pot. So I'm kind of just thinking that I'll grow these two out. Maybe I'll grow two. Maybe we'll try and grow two of them. But that's definitely my end goal of like where I want this plant to look like and to be and to grow, I guess. And these are growing pretty consistently too, so I'm like not even really worried about that. Oh my god, like look at this. Look at this tiny Cocoa Puff, you guys. Like just imagine that in my freaking soil or in my freaking pond. I'm also thinking that I might start inoculating, like, because I know with myco you're supposed to leave a gap in between fertilizing so that the myco has time to fully make that symbiotic relationship with those roots. Every time I water right now, I literally just put the myco in with my fertilizer water, and it's just kind of due to laziness, because it's like to set the time to like not inoculate and then have to inoculate some weeks, like to just keep track of it. I guess it's kind of where my issue is, I guess. I guess I wouldn't really need to keep track of it, but I already don't, like I haven't even used like half of this bag, you guys, and it's about to be a year since I've had this bag, and I also don't have that many plants. Like I think the most I want to say I have is like 50-ish, maybe a little bit more, maybe close to like 60. Yeah, I don't have too many plants compared to like at least other people's collections that I've seen. Going back to something that I've already said previously in another video, like feeling like I'm always doing something wrong. I feel like myco is definitely a big part of that, just because I feel like I don't know if it's actually like inoculated. I definitely have seen improvements, and I will be completely honest about that. Like I have definitely noticed a big difference in how my plants are, I guess. Like right now I have this pothos. This isn't really a good example, but I have this pothos. I have not watered this in so long, and like it's literally like, yeah, Pothos are like, they can definitely go for long, but like another one is like my maidenhair fern. This thing is literally crispy right now because I haven't watered it, and I feel like if it wasn't for my go, they would literally be spinach right now, and like they would literally just not want to be, like they wouldn't pick back up, you know? What do I want to do? Maybe let's do the orchid, because I do have these cuttings in here, which I bought my brother a money tree, and these cuttings were just like pieces that were kind of like already falling off, so I just took them and have them in water for now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep them, but we'll see. I just kind of left it there to see, but yeah. And here I have my orchid. Let me get her out. And I'm thinking of putting this in the pot that my mojito was in. I think the last time that you guys saw this, it was already potted up. And I did take that out because it started rotting and I realized my mistake. This actually needs water right now. Alright, so this is my mojito. It's in this tiny little pot. And it's in pond, but I have it as like a separate reservoir thing. Oh my god, there's already a root poking out. I haven't watered this either because I'm kind of like, again, I'm still in between this plant. I don't know if I want to keep it, you guys. Like, I really don't. I'm just like I love it, but like, is it a plant that I really yearn for and pay attention to and am like excited to see the growth? Not really, if I'm being honest. Like, it really isn't. I learned a lot with this plant though, which is something that I'm very, very grateful for, but I feel like I've experienced all that I can really experience with this. I don't really, I can appreciate the like older, more mature versions of this, like with the trilobes and stuff, but like, do I want it in my collection? I don't know. It's just something that I'm kind of like in between, but I definitely want to put the orchid in here in soil, so I'm not going to do leca this time. I think soil is just better for me personally, I guess, and so I definitely want to put it in here. I think that it could do pretty good in like a smaller pot. It might outgrow it pretty quickly, but I'm honestly, it's better that than to, ooh. Recently I feel like I've just come to an understanding with my collection, I guess, because there's plants that I've had in this collection for so long that I'm just kind of like, they're starting to fizzle out for me, and I'm just not sure if it's a plant that I really see me putting the time in. Like, I love mature mojitos, but do I really want to set up a moss pole, give it the light that it needs? Like, maybe I just need to look at how other people are displaying theirs, because I feel like it's a plant that I might regret giving away, and I don't want to do that. Or like, it's a plant that I might regret selling or giving away, whatever it may be. And I don't want to be left with that regret of like, oh, because again, in my area, these plants are pretty expensive. I feel like they're expensive in local plant stores, but like Facebook Marketplace sellers, they're definitely not that expensive. So I could, if I really wanted to, I could definitely run into another cutting or something like that and buy it that way. But I already have it, so it's like, do I really want to go through that trouble if I end up selling it? Which is another thing. I am actually thinking about selling some cuttings and stuff, but with my area's market, I'm just not sure what to price things at. And another thing is, I'm so like, not intimidated, but I just don't feel really comfortable selling on Facebook. And it's just like, where else do I really sell? Like, I guess there's OfferUp and stuff like that, but I feel like OfferUp might not be that bad, maybe. But I feel like everyone for plants definitely goes to like Facebook Marketplace. I'm in no rush to sell currently, but it's definitely something that I've been thinking about and been preparing for. Like my Solanum oleanum, you guys, that plant, it's such a fast grower, but some of the leaves, they're not like gigantic cuttings, which is another reason that I'm kind of like iffy. Some of the leaves are kind of like deformed in a way, and I think it's just because that plant really pushes its growth. Like, it really just like, it feels the light and it just like pushes its growth. It doesn't even care if those leaves are fully developed or not. And so I've been thinking about giving or selling some cuttings of that for sure. And then like my Splash Gordon, for sure, I don't find any enjoyment in having that plant, you guys. I neglect the heck out of that thing. and it's just like unreal at the fact that that thing is still alive, because I don't even, it's the last plant to get watered. It is what it is. I definitely feel like someone else could enjoy that plant a little bit more than I do, which is why I'm definitely like really looking forward to selling. Oh my god, the last time that I sold plants, I think it was like only a couple plants. I think I actually ended up giving away most of those plants because, again, they don't really sell. And so yeah, I ended up giving away most of those plants, but it just felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulder, and I feel like that's definitely what I need right now. Like, I need that satisfaction of like not having to deal with these plants anymore, because they are just a big factor of like my plant care. Like I just, yeah, that's how I feel right now. But, and for this soil mix, I'm definitely gonna make it a lot more chunky. Oh my god, another thing that I've really been struggling with lately is wanting to buy plants, and I think this also has to do with like the factor of like not really having plants in my collection that I'm not really enjoying that much, and just like having to care for them. It kind of just like, honestly, it drains me. I don't want to say it drains me, but it definitely puts a weight on my plant care and like my collection and just like my enjoyment for what I'm doing for these plants. Yeah, I've been wanting to buy, like, I know this week we're getting Dioscorea elephantips. I have wanted that plant for so long, you guys. Like, oh my god, like it is such a wish list plant for me, and it's a plant that I have never seen anywhere near me. I have just never even, like, in nurseries, it's not even there. And I feel like recently, because of having those plants that I don't really enjoy in my collection, I have definitely been like I really want plants. Like, I really want new plants. I just want to bring in those plants that I actually enjoy and get rid of these ones. But right now, I feel like I'm not even doing anything to really try and get rid of these ones. Just literally just thinking about it, and I feel kind of guilty like bringing something in when I'm not even trying to take anything out, which I think is definitely a good rule to have for any collection, is like, if you're not enjoying something, just like get rid of it, and then you're allowed to, you know, you're more, I don't want to say you're allowed to, but I feel like it's definitely a better situation than just like constantly bringing in plants, and you know, you're just gonna really tire yourself out that way. But yeah, so I don't know, I really want that plant, but I think I was looking at like the pricings of them, and it's close to like $40-ish. I think they're only like 2-inch pots too, so it wouldn't be anything like ginormous. I think she said 3-inch pots actually, so yeah, it wouldn't be anything too big, and I'm just like, I don't know. But another thing that I was kind of chatting with one of you guys in my comments was being patient. Like, is definitely, it's not only about being patient like with growth on your plants, but also about being patient with the current market, especially in my area. Like, I feel like I always tend to, like, I see a plant and I rush to get it, and I'm like, oh my god, like I need this right now, but it's like, do I really need it right now? No, I can, it's like, it's not gonna leave the market. If anything, it's gonna get cheaper and cheaper by the years because of how quick plant prices have been dropping lately. I just have really been like trying not to like rush into buying a plant. Like, I'm really thinking about this logically. Like I'm actually even thinking about like going and trying to find it at like one of my nurseries, because they might have the same seller or greenhouse that they're buying from, so it might be a little bit cheaper at a nursery. You guys, this thing looks so ridiculous. Don't even talk about it, because I'm gonna cry. She looks a little sad, but she'll grow into it. Okay, I think we're gonna do this one next. This is my Splendid, which I don't know what it is with me and Splendid, you guys. Every time I try and grow Splendid, it just doesn't work out. And so this one is actually rotted in this pot. Are you rotted or are you not? I'm so confused, because last time I took this out, there was literally rot. Oh, this one definitely is. Okay, there's already 2 cuttings in here. Are you rotted? Yeah, so there's some stem rot, but it's not any of the new stems. It's, if anything, it's the older like wet sticks. So I'm just gonna chop. Yeah, so there was just some stem rot. I can't tell if this is, oh no, if anything, there's new growth. Okay, Honestly, that thing freaking, as soon as I saw the rot, I was like, okay, I need to get you the hell out of here, buddy. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I truly hope you enjoyed.